We are recording our DC radio show with you live here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Yeah.
All at Wit and Reason, because why not make things more complicated for ourselves?
Yeah.
We could just be recording these episodes in private.
When have we ever done the simpler thing?
Never.
Never.
Never, ever.
Therapists that
Ever.
test the boundaries of all things.
Have
yes.
we ever chosen a simpler route?
Never.
In every aspect of our lives and relationships.
Every aspect of our career,
What
lives,
does that
everything.
say about us?
With a blind cat and the most ridiculous dog ever.
That wasn't my choice.
That was but I mean that's what I mean. It just happens anyway.
Things just happen.
Yeah.
And we're adventurers extraordinaire.
That's very true.
So it's not that we're choosing the harder route, is that we're choosing the funner.
That's very fun. Actually, this is a lot of fun because we are in Austin for South by Southwest.
Yes. All right. So our environment's different. We may sound a little echoey. I'm gonna fix that in post.
You are? That's awesome.
We brought a mic, but we didn't have time to test it, so I didn't want to, risk it not working at all.
Security here is very tight. They didn't want to let me up, even though my badge was let me in.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So we are in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest.
Yeah.
I am co-hosting a meetup, a workplace mental health meetup at South by Southwest.
Not with me. Before anyone asks, it's not with me. It's with some other guy.
I did pitch him on one of our panels.
I'm not good enough. I'm chopped liver.
I didn't say it. South by Southwest and all you who voted for our event.
Thanks everybody for.
I think if you were my co-host, it would still get picked because I think it's just the event itself. I don't know if it's the people who are hosting the event.
That and it's another.
I mean, no offense, David Bolliard, who's co-hosting with me.
Oh, he makes me look like that. But when it comes to this work,
I met him at the American Psychological Association when I was working as their video production supervisor, and David was working in the APA's psychologically healthy workplace division. I mean, they're kind of running the whole thing.
Right?
Yeah. And so since then we've kept in touch. And then I was like, all right, who's another nerdy, extroverted psychologist who does public speaking, particularly around workplace stuff?
And he brings it.
David.
And he brings it. He's really talented. He's a really great psychologist.
I was asking him the other day, I was like, so how do you get all your speaking gigs? Because I want to do more speaking. And he's like, just word of mouth. People just like what I do. And then they just
it's the bow tie.
Tell other people.
It's the bow tie. I'm telling you, it's the bow tie.
Is he always wearing a bow tie? I never noticed.
For as long as I've known him, every time I've seen him, and I'm sure it's not.
I don't think
he's always had a bow tie.
In our headshot, I don't think he's wearing a bow tie. Maybe
I think he is.
I hope so. I like bow ties.
I think he's wearing a bow tie.
So I'm excited. So our event is this Friday at lose track of all the times of things. 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
At
the Hilton.
Yes, at the Hilton in Austin downtown, room 406. So if you are at South by Southwest, please join us. All are welcome.
Yeah,
across industries.
I'll be there. You can say hi to me. I'll be watching and being
Alex gets a guest pass.
Yeah.
You're a VIP.
Yeah.
You're a very important person guest.
Thanks.
And
I'm not jealous at all.
He's gonna help me with the videography and photography. So if things don't look great,
it won't look great.
I was like, make sure we get the good.
When it comes to the media, the videography, the lightings, that's all her. Just to be very clear, that is not my wheelhouse. If you want to nerd out about anything ever with me, I will talk to you about anything ever nerdy regarding mental health or whatever.
Yeah.
But don't ask me about that. If you want culture references.
Even on a personal level, there's memes that go around or the pictures I took of my husband, and then they look all glamour,
glamour shots.
And then the pictures my husband took of me. And I guess this is just a common issue.
I take good photos of you. I have.
I don't know.
Your headshot you use currently is the one that I did.
No, I set that up and put it on a timer.
No, I did that one. I was there with you and I did it.
Okay, I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for my headshot photo.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Thanks.
And I appreciate all the videography and the photography you're going to be and maybe even live streaming you'll be doing for us
I want to do live
at our
streaming.
event.
I'm just going to talk to people during your live stream.
Yeah. And the tricky thing is that I also need him to network, to help me network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to. Austin seems to be like the spot right now, and it's really cool. And we're not usually in Austin, so I mean, this is like our second time in Austin, like really first time.
Yeah, we only had a layover, and so it's interesting to see Austin preparing for a major event like South by Southwest. How many people come into town?
300,000.
300,000 people attend this.
Total.
And it's not just like your typical conference, like, held within the convention center. No, it spews over the entire downtown.
Well,
I counted like at least on the map 6 different buildings that they take over.
I mean, I always found this fascinating because South by Southwest to me was always the music festival. And then it started to then build and build and build. And that's really amazing that it kind of went from an artistic thing to then continue to be incorporate other creatives, other artists and things like that, like filmmakers and TV, and then it moving over to tech, which is an art in and of itself.
Right.
And it just started continuing to expand. Now South by Southwest education is here this week, which is really great. All you educators here for South by Southwest, welcome. You're amazing. You're underappreciated. We love you.
We do.
So much. So much.
And then they even have like a crossover event on Thursday. Like the first day they do a crossover of South by Southwest education with all their educators, and then traditional South by Southwest, I don't know, all the people who attend the typical South by Southwest.
Yeah.
And so what's cool about it is that, number one, it's not one of those like boring, stuffy conferences, which I hate. I like nerding out about the latest research and sessions and some, some major players like in our industry. But overall, it's just like they're in like bright lit fluorescent lights, like boring, ugly conference centers.
Yeah.
And so when I saw South by Southwest, I was like, this actually looks cool. They actually have parties that like start around 10 and go up into the wee hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that's a kind of conference that we're setting ourselves up for.
And to be fair, you may be in an industry where people actually get to do that. We're in mental health. That is not a part of our like lexicon when it comes to like, or the normative value when it comes to events and other things that you don't have wonderful, delightful parties.
Do we even have bars open? Open bar, dude.
There was a cocktail hour, but they didn't really have cocktails. Do you remember that over for the APA conference?
Who does? Is the military psychology folk.
Yeah.
They have the best spread at the psychological conventions with an open bar and just like the best food.
And bless them for it. So,
and so, if you're at a psychology conference, go hang
friends
out with the military. Because they be recruiting.
Yeah. So that it makes a lot. I mean, so for us, this is a very different place and space, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. So we're excited to be here. It's our first time at South by Southwest, and for us as mental health professionals, this is such a huge accomplishment because my goal personally has always been to bring mental health and psychology outside of the ivory towers, the universities, the libraries where our research is just collecting dust, outside of the schools, outside of even the private therapy offices, which can be quite a privilege to be able to access, and into the real world, into community, into these streets.
Into these streets.
Into the workplaces.
Can I be a street therapist? Hey, everyone, if I'm in the street, you pay me amount of money, and I will talk to you as a therapist.
They have those people that just like makeshift booth, and then they're like,
Peanuts.
come talk to me about anything.
From the Peanuts?
Well, I think that's where people were inspired.
Okay, so I'm gonna set up a thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Therapist, 25 cents.
You
tell me something, I will tell you one line back, and then you can pay me a quarter for each line I tell you.
It'll be like a vending machine.
It'll be gold. It'll be like fortune cookie gold. It'll be amazing.
I think you can handle that actually.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You have really good one-liners. Give us a good soundbite right now.
I'm panicking. No.
That's a good one. That is a good representation of how everyone's feeling these days.
Yes.
Thank you for validating our experience.
Fair. Very fair.
That was perfect.
Thanks.
So we're very honored and excited to be representing mental health and psychology at South by Southwest, where you have both music, film, television, and business, and tech merging together. You're going across industries and coming together. And for us, our objective here is to promote and boost mental health in all of these different types of workplaces as well.
Very true. And I mean, I think it's really important for people to get together and do those things and have those gatherings, because creativity spawns more creativity.
Yeah.
So that makes me excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. So they have we're going to talk about the lineup. I've gone through it. It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, obviously just the amount of people that are going to be here is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Hanging around with like South by Southwest education, I'm already feeling like I haven't been around this many humans since pre-COVID.
Yeah. And then it's all like the networking and things and
then
connections and like
kind of like being on, for networking and making sure that you like present as like approachable.
Yeah.
Versus just like whatever, I don't give a fuck.
Do you have like an approach to networking? Do you think about this? Like, have you?
Well, I have been for this event.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I care. Like in the psychology conferences, I don't really need to network because you're my colleagues, or and so it's like nice to like make friends and stuff. But here it's like, I want to get into these industries. I want to meet decision makers so that way we could bring mental health to your workplace or to your production or with you while you're on tour as a musician. And so this is going to be, I think, my first experience of really, since college where I really did need to meet other psychologists. This is going to be my first kind of more creative conference and my first experience where I need to really boost up my networking game.
That's fair.
So I've been preparing, aka asking ChatGPT what they recommend. And a lot of it was like really interesting kind of takes. There's obviously like psychological.
There's tons of psychological principles out there.
Considerations.
Yeah, like social exchange and all these other types of theories and around like what it looks like and feels like.
With social exchange, Adam Grant actually had like a good quote to this. Before you ask anything of anyone, you give them something. So you give them some kind of information or feedback, obviously like positive. You don't want to like tear someone down and then unless you're being that kind of manipulative networker.
It doesn't always work. So yeah.
Doesn't work in dating. It doesn't. Well, for the long run.
You know what lives in my head all the time? Our wonderful friend and producer, Freddie.
Yes.
Freddie said, well, why should I care? And he's like, when you're going
to... And to be fair, he'll let us know when he's putting on his producer hat and not just talking to us as friends.
No. This was about networking. This is about like communication. He's like, no, you really have to come in there with the idea of like, you need to make sure that they know why they should care. Yes. And I always thought that, and that meets like social exchange theory. That meets a couple of different theories there. And I'm like, ooh, that's all. So that lives in my head now.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And I appreciate that because whenever I'm creating something or getting ready to talk to someone, I'm trying to answer that question of like, why should this person care about what I'm pitching or, the recommendation that I'm.
Because it's like you're an amazing human and
yes,
you're adding value to all these other things. And so why is adding value to the things so important? And that's where networking gets sticky because people like get that lack of confidence or they get the wind of their sails and they're like feeling like, or intimidated by these things. And some people then maybe overly confident. I don't know.
I know. There's a lot of psychology involved in these, like just in human interactions, let alone you put a bunch of humans like in this convention center and you just sit and observe how they interact. Some of them take the strategy of like the overconfidence and like ego. Yeah. And then some of them you could tell like are a little bit more on the sidelines and shy.
Yeah.
And so let us know, how do you feel about networking, particularly at these big events? I'm going to put up our fun little thing here.
You said something that triggered in my brain. Of course, I was talking to somebody about, I was doing work with somebody, and we talked about the phrase "fortune favors the bold," right? Like fortune favors the bold. Except here's the thing: it's not just about being bold.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm going to put myself out there. It's knowing what you're about anyway. Because you have to have the insight to then engage and talk about yourself in that way that doesn't come across as bravado or cocky.
Yeah.
It needs to be confident, and that's balance. And so it's not just being bold, but it's being honest and insightful. So we were talking a little bit about that. I was like, because I was kind of bouncing around that idea. I was like, it's not just bold.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because you could be bold and then totally miss the mark.
Yep. You can be bold and boring. You can be bold in a lot of things. I mean,
you could be bold and still I would be like,
or creepy.
Why are you talking to me? Like, this has nothing to do with me. And particularly with South by Southwest, it's really challenging because there is like a multidisciplinary, multi-industry, you have to know who you're talking to. And who they are and what industry they're in. Our badges have they're color coded, so you know if someone did buy within a certain industry, you could get a sense of that. But if they're the platinum silver, then it's like you have no idea what they're about unless you're like staring at their badge, which is like somewhere framed on their abdomen or chest, you know. So you do need to know who you're approaching, at least what industry they're in. What kind of work that they do, who they work for.
Well, what type of pre-work? Yeah, like
so
who
you
they
do.
Work for.
Yeah, so you do need to do some research in advance and have a good idea of who do you want to talk to and why. And even if for us, like if we're in film and television, sure, I could know someone, does casting
or distribution
or is working
lighting.
Or produces, but like what genre?
Yeah.
Because I have a different pitch for someone who's producing horror films than someone who's producing a docuseries.
Yeah.
Mental health and psychologists are relevant in both, but very, very different reasons.
Yeah.
Also different for someone who's casting for unscripted or reality. They need us as well, but for, again, different reasons.
Yep.
And so I need to know all that in my head, and I'm bad with names. I'm even bad with faces.
You are.
I might have some kind of
aphasia, propopagnosia. Do you see faces when you look at do you see Jesus in Toast?
No, those are always hard for me to see.
See, yeah, you might have propopagnosia.
Oh shit.
If you don't know what that is, it's the ability to recognize patterns that look like a face. And so there's that vegetable guy that they always show the picture of that supposedly looks like a vegetable. Or if you look at like the woman who also looks like an old woman, who also looks like a young woman, who also looks like a duck.
Fun times for us. So I've been researching the attendees and the sessions that I want to go to. And then if there's anyone that I do want to connect with, I got my list of people that have already followed and tried to connect with on LinkedIn. I don't think anyone's accepted my connection request yet. I did leave messages. So it is useful to do that pre-research work.
Yeah.
And then the other recommendations are to have at least 3 goals.
Yeah.
For me, I'm already getting feeling overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a great opportunity. I have my goals for our actual event, our workplace mental health meetup. But then I also have my goals for the rest of the conference and who I want to talk to and what sessions I want to go to.
Yeah.
And so also trying to chill out.
Well, because you have to
not overwhelm myself.
You have to balance that with also having fun. Because if you're not having fun, you're also not going to present well. And I think that's another thing that people remind, cool, calm, and collected requires you to also be enjoying yourself.
I know.
You can't come into something and hate it and be white knuckling it the whole time.
Oh my gosh, this is my one chance to talk to Rich Least.
Gonna throw that out there? Okay.
I have my whole list of people. He's one of them. Rich, hi, from the past. Hopefully you will see me in the future. So here's the cool thing.
Remember I said about creep?
That would be a good person to know.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, that's the thing. You're completely
And so
right.
it's how do you balance the determination?
Yeah.
With the thin line of being super creepy. Especially
Is it that thin? Is it that thin?
Well, especially these days with social media.
Yeah, social media brings you closer.
And with AI, y'all. I like asked ChatGPT, I was like, what do you know about, this person,
these different people,
these speakers at South by Southwest? And then a whole thing came up. And so it's not like I did a lot of the creeping. AI did it for me. And then
it did it for me.
And then I was able to learn more about them. But then I was able to connect with other people who I'm also really interested in. And it's just this huge social web of madness that I've been dealing with for the past few weeks.
It's pretty hilarious. AI does my stalking.
So one of the great ways to try to meet the person is if they are speaking at an event. Obviously if they're on stage or they're hosting an event, those are industry leaders that you're going to want to talk to, right? And so some of the recommendations are you can try to meet someone after their event. The challenge is that so are a whole lot of other people.
Yeah, true.
And so let's say the event's over, they leave the stage or they're exiting the room, and this is your shot to try to introduce yourself. You have 10 to 15 seconds max to not only make an impression, ideally a good one, not a creepy, desperate one.
Yeah.
And to be memorable and to have some kind of exchange that you can continue on after the fact, because you can't just hold them hostage there the whole time. No. And they probably have other things to go do, or they're thirsty or have to go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Sure.
And so how do you navigate that? Have you ever tried to talk to people after their speaking event? Or
a couple of different times. Mostly people that I had follow-up questions with, so it's not intimidating to walk up to a therapist or a psychologist or some psychiatrist that I really think is doing interesting work and coming up to them after. I got to talk to Dr. Resnick, and if you ever watched anything of the Aurora shootings, Dr. Resnick weighed in heavily on those things. If you remember that in The Dark Knight.
Right.
Yeah. So, with forensic mental health, we would nerd out about those things. So it's okay to walk up and be hey, doing an eval, need your input, or walking up to Dr. Hare, who wrote the PCLR. This means nothing to the average person, but they're psychology heavy hitters. They've done cool things. And so you want to talk to them. I don't know if I get nervous because mostly I'm talking to them about things that I want to know more of.
Right.
So it doesn't really bother me. It's not I don't need anything from them, or I'm not trying to sell myself in some way.
You have a question.
I have a question, but I don't have a networking issue.
I know. There's part of me where I feel embarrassed to take up somebody's time. Why? I don't have the expectation that someone should stop what they're doing to help me with the question that I have after an event that they just put on.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's about.
Well,
I need the confidence of Chad.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, that's the thing.
I need the confidence and entitlement of some way for
there's more to that. That's right on. But there is actually something that they talk about with pro-sociopathic behaviors, where they talk about how if you have this absurd level of entitlement and confidence, you're usually going to actually meet the people you need to meet or have an easier time about that, because you believe in yourself kind of blindly. So you just kind of blindly go through it. It's not because you're competent. It's actually because you feel like you deserve it.
I know. And we see that in the workplace all the time.
It's
the entitled people. And there's really no association with just because you're overly confident and entitled doesn't mean that you're necessarily skilled for promotions or anything, but you are the one who does get promoted. And that's just the way humans work.
Good book, Snakes in Suits, if you really want to pursue that line of things. Snakes in Suits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because recommendation.
Usually business CEOs, things like that.
So the tips are, if you do want to talk to a speaker after the fact, and I've also been in that position where I was a speaker and people wanted to talk to me after, and I'm very excited. I'm kind of tired from speaking, but that's part of the gig, that people are going to want to keep on talking to you. And that's actually fun. So I don't know why I feel nervous about approaching someone I'm taking up their time.
Like you're a burden.
Yeah, like a burden. I know, childhood stuff probably.
Yeah. I'm your husband. I don't go there.
I'll do it. But yeah, when I'm a speaker, I enjoy when people come up and say that they appreciate my work or what I said or have questions. I'm like, but then I'm not sure that's my personality though.
So not everybody's the same.
But I guess if you're speaking, you're kind of down for that too. If you agree to that gig.
But that's the thing, you go in there with the intentionality to be a thoughtful, kind person about it. And if they're not, that's okay too. That is whatever they're doing.
I also don't like rejection.
Yeah.
I got into the wrong field. Psychology is the right one because like you could always navigate it in some kind of therapeutic way. But trying to get more immersed in film and television and the entertainment industry is all rejection.
Until
it's brutal.
Yeah.
So I hate rejection, but here I am. And so if you want to talk to a speaker, you want to try to meet them, after the show, recognize that you have just a few seconds. You might want to like just bring up that like, hey, I realize you got to get going, but I loved what you said about this piece. Would love to talk to you more about it. How can we?
And here's what I do, and here's who I am.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Yeah. And then how can we, get connected or continue this conversation later or something like that. I'm hoping that the people that I want to speak to are going to like be around for the rest of the convention, so we can hang out at some of the already like fixed like social hours and everything. So that would be cool.
That would be.
Yeah, or the parties.
But that's the thing, you got to be open to like meeting people who meet people who meet people. That's also the thing. Remember, there's social capital there.
Yeah.
And so just meeting people for the sake of just being honest in you and bringing your best self forward, you're going to organically start to build on those things anyway. And that's also how we meet wonderful people that we end up working with anyway.
Yeah.
So part of it is show up as yourself, be honest with that, be as excited as what you bring to the table and who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The most honest you are, the better that is. That's why, my words to you and how I support you is saying, go play.
Yeah.
You go play, be yourself. You're wonderful. So if they can't see that, it's their own shortcoming, but I'm biased, but still.
I appreciate that. And I really love that you're here with me on this trip. We RV'd. We RV road tripped from Savannah, Georgia, all the way out here to Austin, Texas, to participate in South by Southwest. So we're here for 2 weeks. So I appreciate you coming all the way out here with me, driving us all the way out here with our animals and our fifth wheel RV.
Hey, look, I get to be here too. Yeah. The animals get to be here with us. It's not just you at a hotel room waiting for
alone
a week
in the dark.
Alone in the dark. So, we're getting.
I'm just kidding. I'd probably be out and about.
Yeah, I just reiterated what you said. But that's the thing. But that's what support looks like, right?
Yeah.
So you show up, I'm here.
I appreciate that. And then especially since you're going to be helping me network and take pictures.
The thing is,
document what we're doing.
I love meeting people and picking brains and things like that.
I do too. Yeah. I think it's just because I'm really excited. I'm also kind of like nervous.
Yeah, and I want to work with people because I'm like, if they're cool, I want to work with more of them. And so that's the also exciting part. Like I love meeting people because if we get to work together and do something collaborative or creative, that's amazing. So
the goal is have fun. I need to take social breaks so I don't burn out because I haven't socialized this much with this many people in person since pre-COVID.
That's right.
Yeah. And focus on my general goals of just like meeting cool, new, interesting people and building like long-term relationships. Like I can't lock this shit down in one convention. It's just the start to like ideally a lifelong relationship.
Open doors. That's it.
Yeah.
I was thinking like it's a pool of people in which you have something in common with hopefully you get to meet, and that's it. And it's just a pool. It doesn't mean that they're good or bad or whatever else. It's just a pool of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an amazing opportunity. Happy to be here. This is exciting. I'm so happy to listen and hear and be a part of all this stuff. So this is exciting for me.
So for the rest of you, if you're either going to South by Southwest or any other convention, if you want to check out the Aura Health app, I need to listen to my own calming meditation.
That's great.
I won't listen to my own. That's weird. That would be so weird.
I don't know.
I record meditations on the Aura Health app for like, helping you prepare for stressful events and just calming and grounding. And it's like
I listen to it randomly all the time. So
like you're my biggest fan.
Yeah.
And my partner.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be weird if you just like listened to your own recorded Meditation.
Maybe that's where you need to go with this. So you're a little more Chad when you show up. Sorry.
I am the best. No offense to anybody named Chad who actually might be cool.
I know. Sorry, Chad's out there. I'm sure you're awesome.
So if you need that connection to mental health via app, audio lessons, meditations, even sleep stories, or a health app, we got a guest pass for you. So check that out. And then also what's coming up, which we aren't talking about enough, is RVing foodies.
Okay.
On YouTube. So our YouTube is at Alex and Alexis. We took off the doctor because I'm not doing doctory stuff on there.
Yeah.
We are eating.
Yeah.
So we've been road tripping across the country several times already.
Yeah, we've been back and forth across the country. We've done that via highways and byways everywhere. And we find some amazing places. And I love culture and I love food. So we tend to stop. You love food too. But
I love culture and I love food too.
And so anyway, we get to go and check out all these wonderful places to eat, things to see along places that you wouldn't normally see. So
Alex has taken me to some really creepy looking places that you wouldn't otherwise go to.
For some of the best food you've ever had in your life.
I lived to tell the story to you all.
Multiple times.
And to edit the footage and
post
it on YouTube.
Multiple places. Not just like one place that was really weird and creepy.
He is always right.
I'm always right.
I don't know if we've had anything like horrific.
We had stuff that wasn't as good.
Yeah.
And that was usually me eating it because I would go check out something that I was like on a whim.
And then the other ordeal is self-disclosure. I have an autoimmune condition that causes joint inflammation. And so I've been like navigating healthier eating, which makes road trip eating very challenging, and it makes foodie reviews very challenging.
Challenge accepted.
So Alex will eat whatever's recommended from said restaurant or food shack, and I will try to stick to whatever, autoimmune protocol diet. And so best of both worlds. If you want like foodie reviews, especially from off the road, off the beaten path, that's healthy, I gotcha. If you want to go all out and just try whatever the chef and locals recommend, I gotcha. So it's coming soon. We started posting some shorts on there, but we have a lineup of excellent content
from all over the country.
That's all about mindful eating, exploring, traveling.
A little bit of history of food, a little bit of history period.
Yeah, culture.
Odd little places and spaces across the towns you go by very, very quickly to get to the next larger city a lot of the time. We stop there a lot.
So come explore with us.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/@AlexandAlexis. Yeah. And then of course, if you are here in Austin, I actually got to check in with one of my friends who lives here, so we get to hang out. Let's meet up. We're here for a couple weeks. If you're at South by Southwest, definitely come to our workplace mental health meetup, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we are going to be live at South by Southwest. We're going to be showing you what it's like when 300,000 attendees take over a city.
Busy. It may just be me. I'm just warning you all. It's going to be hilarious because I don't know.
Yeah, so Alex will, either way.
I'm going to be wearing a hoodie, eating donuts.
What?
I don't know.
Why are you eating donuts without me?
Because you can't eat donuts.
I know it.
That's hilarious. So I'm just going to be eating nachos and donuts at the same time.
And only if you're recording for RV Foodies.
Hey, everybody. This is what I'm doing without Alexis here. So I'm going to eat some donuts. Wait, what's good? Barbecue? It's Austin. Barbecue. I'll get some barbecue. Texas barbecue.
Yeah, that's true. I can have some.
I'm eating some ribs. You can watch me eat some ribs.
No, that's not how we do the show.
We talk about mental health. Come on.
Okay, so ideally, we will both be live, just like we are every Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. West Coast. We are 6:30 here in Central and 7:30 East Coast. Live at South by Southwest. If I have to be somewhere else for some cool, important networking that we need to do, then Alex is going to do a Wit and Reason takeover for DC Radio.
I don't know what we're going to do yet. So you're going to join me on this journey.
It's still going to be live at South by Southwest. You're still going to be like doing like insider stuff.
You won't be there. You can't tell me. You can't tell me what to do. You won't be there.
Still the producer of the show. I will find out.
I'll eat gummy bears.
They will tell me. So jelly gummy bears. All right. Well, let's see what happens next week.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us, and see you next week.
Yeah. See you later.